and welcome to another episode of Travel Family Academy. My name is Paula, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get your baby or toddler sleeping during flights. If this is your first time flying with your baby or toddler, one of the things we recommend is booking a flight during the sleep nap time. The reason for this is because it is a lot easier for you to handle the sleep because they are meant to be sleeping, so their body will pick up on the cue and more easily they will fall asleep on flights and stuff like that. So it will be less intense for you, especially for the first time. So if you book a flight during their sleep time, they will guarantee to sleep and they will just make things a lot easier for you. So that's the first thing you need to think about. When are you flying? What time should I book this flight for? We did that on our first flight and I'm glad we did it. It was not on purpose, to be honest, but it did happen and I'm so glad we did it because it was like the perfect first flight. It actually gave me the confidence that I was in need of to keep going. Okay, so now you've booked the flight and it's during, the sleep schedule your baby has. So the other thing you need to consider is the clothing. Are you bringing something comfortable for them to wear and to be comfortable sleeping? So you need to think of that. What do you use as comfort at home that you can bring with you to the flight? Is the next thing you should think about. So like blanket or, a little toy. We generally recommend anything that smells like home. So I generally try to bring my toddler's pajama. Well, I used to. Now he's used to sleeping on flights. But before when we started, I used to bring a pajama that he would already had worn at home. So he would have worn the night before and then I'd bring in, dress him up. And so he just felt and smelled like home. So for him, it was just easier to fall asleep. We've tried this many times. We've recommended it many times. And it's so far, it's still the best way to get your baby to sleep. Even if you don't have to be like me and go the extra mile and wear the night before. But just bringing that from home, that piece of clothing from home or a blanket, it just gets them comfortable. Or even just laying on top of you, smells like mommy. All right, so we've covered, the time, we've covered sleeping comforts and clothing. So now let's look at your bedtime routine, okay? So what is the bedtime routine at your home? Bring that to the airplane. Do exactly the same thing. Obviously, you'll have to adapt. You can't just, take a bath in the airplane. That just won't work. But you can replicate things. So for instance, my toddler's bedtime routine is shower. Then he gets dressed and reads his story and then his sleep time. So, and he also sleeps with a little plushy toy, whatever he has, he prefers at the moment. So in the airplane, what we do is I take him to the bathroom, change his diaper, wipe him with a little warm wipe, put his pajama on, bring him back to his seat, read his story, and settle him down for sleep. And that's it. So, you have to adapt whatever you are doing as a routine, but do the same thing in the airplane. It's guaranteed to work. They are used to that routine, and bringing that with you will just, trigger them to, okay, sleep time is sleep time. Now think of what items you use at home or things that you need to make this a foolproof plan. So, do you need darkness? Do you need a white noise machine? So do you know that you have to bring a white noise machine with you? We always say that the airplane is the perfect white noise machine, and it is. It just makes the perfect white noise. If you have an iPhone, you have that on your settings. You have a white noise situation you can use, but also just get a white noise machine that is a travel size noise machine that you can use on the airplane. But also, will they need total, silence? So is your baby used to sleeping in complete silence? Maybe you will invest in some earmuffs and things like that for your baby for the flight. We actually did buy that because we were told the earmuffs, because we were told for takeoff and landing would be really good. It's actually helpful. We actually end up never using it. So I don't know if it's really helpful or not, but we have had a lot of people saying that they use it and it's really good. It gets to that moment where you've tried all of this that I've said before and it still didn't work. That's the worst case scenario. Grab yourself your baby carrier, which again, we recommend you have it. It's perfect for boarding and to leave the airplane. And also for this exact moment where your baby just doesn't want to sit and, on his seat and fall asleep there. You grab him, put him in your carrier, and you just walk up and down on the aisle, get some movement in. I've done that before, and that's the best way I've got my toddler to sleep sometimes, because obviously they go through the phases where they just don't want to sleep. They just want to be alive and do things. So I would just put him on a carrier and just walk up and down the aisle. And with that movement, 5 minutes in, and he was asleep. So I do recommend doing that if they're a bit, not wanting to settle down. Because again, like, an airplane is an exciting time. They might be just super excited to be in an airplane, and to get them to sleep might be hard. So it's good to think of options, and planning for these options will guarantee that your toddler will sleep. Why? Because in your mindset, you got this. You got this. You can do it, and you will get it done. Last few things is the seat selection. Maybe consider what seats you want and what would be best for your baby to sleep. Maybe you'll want to add an extended seat for your baby's sleep. There's other things to consider. Maybe at the window seat, so he has something to lean on. Always make sure that they have the seat belt locked, though, even if they are asleep. Maybe you want to bring the car seat. Again, you need to check your airline, make sure they allow that. All of this you will need to check and ensure to guarantee a successful sleep during your flight. We do have a workshop, a 1-hour on-demand workshop on getting your baby to sleep on flights. It has everything that the 3 points you will need to know ever for to guarantee your baby sleeps during a flight. I will link it below in the description, so make sure to have a look. If you are stressing about your next flight with your baby and toddler, we have the perfect solution for you. We have our ebook, which will be your best friend throughout the whole journey. It will hold your hand during check-in, security, boarding, all of it, especially the flight. Hold your hand, be your best friend, hand in hand. I will link it below, with the baby on board for you to have a look. We poured our hearts into it and gave you our best tips, everything that we've learned for the past 3 years, so that you don't have to go through the same stress that we did. So have a look. We hope it helps. If you have any questions, and if you like this video, please let us know. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next week.